Good morning, YouTube. It is 10 a.m. in the great state of Texas, and we're not building a bowl today. We're not building a table. We're doing something we haven't done in a very long time. We're going to build a wooden pine box. So here we go. Picked up some boards at Lowe's. I've got a square, and I'm going to take some pencils, and we're going to start forming the shape of the box. So this is probably this is the biggest box that I've ever actually built. I've already forgotten the dimensions that I made this in because I did this back between, I want to say September, October. It took me several different months to make this project. Actually, I had attempted it earlier and had a lot of unsuccessful attempts due to the wood kind of just warping on me sporadically. So I've got it figured out now, so this is actually our second attempt at making this particular box. I've made boxes before in the past. This is probably, like I said earlier, this is going to be the largest one that I've made to date. So what we're doing out here is just measuring everything up the way that we want. I'm going to take it over to the miter saw and get our slices cut down to the exact dimensions that we want. Big thing when you're picking out wood for these kinds of projects, go to Lowe's and try to pick the flattest board possible. Not the best quality of material, however, as you'll see here in a little bit, this is where the actual issue came in with my previous box. So I had set everything up very similarly, but I failed to recognize that the warping the wood was like a super big issue. And I have a planer, and this is actually the first time I'm actually watching this video all the way through, and I honestly can't remember if I used the planer, but got this into the actual vice grips itself and tightening those down as tightly as possible, and put the weight on it to keep everything flat, and then everything else just to kind of keep everything from warping. And that was the issue that I had the last time I tried to build this actual box, was too much warping. So got that out, was really happy with the way these boards glued up in this particular part, and everything's nice and sturdy. Give it a good flip. It's kind of flat, but you can see there's a little bit of warping there, so we're gonna have to get this plane down. I think I used the planer, I want to say. Let's see what the next clip looks like here. Yeah, boom, using the planer. So putting these through a couple of times, trying to get these as flat as possible. It would have helped, and it's more helpful if you actually plane the wood before you actually glue everything up. Had a little bit of issue here. I am trying to force everything through. Just going through over and over again. Probably need to sharpen the blades is what I need to do on my planer. That would probably help. So once we got it through the planer, you can obviously, there's a little bit of issue here with it actually catching. And now I'm just trying to get everything squared up so that we can actually start the other portion of it, which is the side walls. So here I am going back and forth on the miter saw. Bam, done with that. So now we're going to build the walls, and here I am just measuring everything out on the miter saw. Got my handy dandy pencil there, getting everything squared up and cut. And there you can see over there on my table saw where the actual board itself is. And I'm like, okay, that looks about even. Trying to get like just eyeballing it a little bit. And now we're going to do the ends of it. Same kind of concept, measuring everything out, using the miter saw a lot on this one, trying to get everything cut down nice and even. Pretty happy with the way that's set up. And now we're just doing my favorite part, which is sanding, because you got to sand this bad boy before you glue it up again. So just using, I think we're using 80 grit on here. Just get everything sanded up, making sure everything is nice and smooth before we actually start the glue part. And you can actually see you're taking off that superficial layer that's on there already. Sanding's the best. If I could hire somebody full-time to do my sanding, I totally would. I don't know any woodworkers that enjoy sanding. I'm sure there's one out there, but it's definitely not this guy. So here we are, glued everything up, getting everything else in the grips, and you can see it popped off there, and just had to get more grips. This is why grips are so important, because you can never have too many of these bad boys. So getting everything out. Great camera work, by the way, as well. But you can see here, I think I'm using almost every grip that I have, every vice grip that I have in the shop. But set that up for a couple of days. Box is pretty well shaped and formed. Pretty happy with the way this is all attached. And now we're going to start working the sanding portion of it again, trying to get everything nice and even. So once this is pretty much set up, this is pretty much easy work. We're just coming back, getting all the glue off of it that formed up, and then we can actually start making the actual lid portion of it a little bit. Pretty good sanding portion on this one, not too bad. I've had this sander for like 4 years, and we're way overdue for a new one, but if it's not broke, don't fix it, I guess. So then we are taking the top of the lid, and all I'm doing here is edging everything up, trying to get everything nice and smooth so that we can take it over to the table saw and actually start cutting out the portions and the dimensions that we wanted in. Hey, here's a fun fact. If you work in an enclosed space and don't have an industrial vacuum system, sand outside. That will save you so much time. So what we're doing here is we're edging out the bottom of the actual lid so that it can actually form and but shape up to where it can actually attach to the top of the actual box itself. This part was actually, one of the more fun parts, getting everything, just moving the edge just a little bit and then coming back and cutting it down. So had a good attachment point for the lid. Here it is. Everything's not glued up, but shaped the actual lid to the portions that we wanted to. And now we're just sanding the top of it so we can do the burn and the epoxy portion of it. So this part didn't take any time at all. Great thing about pine, it's a plain Jane kind of wood, but if you sand it real nice and really just take care of it, you can actually get a pretty good aesthetic look from it. So here it is. Box is actually built and assembled. Got a good attachment point. Here's the lid. You can actually see the portions of it. Very nice and smooth. Goes in really easy. So now we're just going to add a little bit of flair to it. So the person I'm making this for wanted like red and black colors for the actual bowl or the actual box itself. And I'll admit, this part didn't exactly go the way that I wanted it to. In theory, you come up with these ideas and they look good in your mind, and then when you go to execute them, it was just executed kind of poorly on my part. So here's the actual black resin, and now we're going to come back, hit it with red and orange glitter, and try to get it like a red and black kind of thing. But it didn't exactly turn out exactly the way that I wanted it. Admittingly, it kind of looks cool, but when it dries, I'm just like kind of not happy with it. But the next one that we do will definitely look a lot better than this one. It kind of looks like just randomness on there, which kind of takes away from it a little bit. Not too bad, but it's at the same time, the aesthetic doesn't look the same way that I wanted it to. But we'll do better on the next one. So then I decided to put initials in it as well. So I had this soldering iron. I rarely ever use it. The last time I used it was for a different project. So we just went ahead, did that all over the outside of it, and now we're just painting on epoxy to just make that, sealed up. And it gives it a good pop in the overall, look of the actual project. So was really happy how this portion turned out. So I guess, trial and error, the more you do it, kind of like bowl making. Bowl making has kind of become a little easier for me over the years. Definitely going to do more of these boxes. I want to get like an edger and do like some, more cool aesthetic looking projects in the future. But overall, really happy how this turned out. The box at the end is going to look absolutely amazing. Here it is when it's all done. The epoxy is dried. You can tell the lid portion of it, hit or miss some spots there on the edges. But overall, really happy how it turned out. But hope you guys liked it. Hope you got something out of it. Don't forget to subscribe, all that other stuff. You guys are watching this in March. Hope everybody's doing well. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right. Peace. Okay, so big reveal. Here we are. Completed box project. So this box took 2 iterations for me to complete. I had this set up and then it kind of exploded when I put it in the grips and everything. So I had to come back and do it over. But honestly, the top didn't come out exactly how I envisioned, but this is still probably the best box I've ever made. The epoxy looks super smooth on it. Burnt in the person's initials that this is for. And then you pop this open. Lots of space in here, obviously, as you can tell. Just simple pine board. You just, add some details to it. It makes it look a lot cooler. But overall, really happy the way this turned out. One of the better boxes. Actually, like I said, the best box I've ever made. So I'm sure the person will like this box. Again, you know, it'll last a while. So hope you liked it. I think I have the flu, so I'm kind of just like under the weather. That's kind of why I'm breathing hard and all nasally and sniffly. So today is, I think, October 17th. You guys are probably watching this in March probably by now. March or April. No, March or February of 2023. What did I say today was? The 15th of October 2022. Anyway, it's October 2022. So hope everybody's doing well out there. Got back in the garage, made some projects. So there it is, big box. Hope you like it. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, like it, all that stuff. Yeah, fever dreams. I'm losing my mind. Anyway, I'll check you guys out in the next one. All right, peace.